It's starting to spread on the internet. Maybe you still need to see the opening ceremony. The opening ceremony of the 2022 Commonwealth Games contains some bizarre scenes involving people revering a giant bull in what people are calling a satanic cult ceremony. Some call it utter worship of Lucifer in plain sight. A lot of news outlets have their headlines as "Opening Ritual of Baal Worship in Birmingham at the Commonwealth Games." Was this ritualistic ceremony Baal worship in plain sight? What is the significance of Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games Raging Bull? Is this the sign of the Antichrist? Are we at the end time? Or does the Bible tell us about this? In this video, we're going to take a look at this symbolic event. The Commonwealth Game opening ceremony got underway as usual. Some vintage cars owned by residents were driven into the stadium to form the shape of the Union Jack, a tribute to Birmingham's role in the automotive industry. Prince Charles' entry into the stadium in his own Aston Martin marked the end of this part of the performance. Then, things got dark. Then it arrived. People started wondering and asking, what does this thing represent? First and foremost, Birmingham has a long history with bulls. The city is home to the bull ring market, where bulls have been held before slaughter since the Middle Ages. However, the official Twitter account of Birmingham 2022 provides a more detailed interpretation of this bull scene. At Birmingham CG22 tweeted, "Taking 5 months to build and standing 10 meters high, the raging bull is pulled along by female chainmakers." In the 19th century, women worked long hours in hot and cramped outhouses for hardly any pay making chains, which led to a famous strike for better conditions. The second question would be, what does the bull represent? The Industrial Revolution? The oppression of men, even through their working conditions, were not better? That needs to be clarified. However, as one watches the entire ceremony, it becomes clear that this bull scene represents much more than a worker strike. The ceremony in a nutshell, from a religious viewpoint, a large star explodes and each of the Commonwealth's 72 citizens, the Dreamers, receives a large crystal called a shard. A massive mechanical raging bull beast is rolled out in front of a mock burning tower, chained to peasant slave women, no men, interpreted as the Tower of Babel. A male, who appears to be a Roman soldier, whips the women who are pulling the bull. The women are set free after the chains are removed. The woman rides the angry bull after the bull bows down to her. The peasant women give the bull a hand sign and bow their heads. Citizens salute with their right arm and then bow down to worship the bull with crystals held high. They invite the audience to participate in the bull beast's worship. The flags of 72 countries are draped around the base of the bull. In the Tower of Babel, the crystals float together to form a ball. A light beam shines from the tower to the bull's chest. People gather around the bull for several awkward minutes to worship it. There are no words to describe what is going on. This is a good time to mention that Lucifer means light bearer, and these individuals are literally bearing light to honor the bull. All of this is pure Luciferian symbolism. This is highly symbolic and demonstrates that the bull represents more than just a worker strike. To prostrate means to be stretched out with your face on the ground in adoration or submission. People have been fearing, revering, and carrying sacrifices to this bull for thousands of years. It is still happening today. Several ancient Middle Eastern civilizations worship a deity known as Baal, which means master or lord. Baal, frequently depicted as a bull, was said to be the son of the chief god El, and at the very least, there was Baal worship involved. Baal worship was rooted in sensuality and involved ritualistic temple prostitution. Appeasing Baal at times required human sacrifice, usually the sacrificer's firstborn. The priests of Baal worshipped their god with wild abandon, including ecstatic cries and self-inflicted injury. Baal worship, Julian Kennedy. Baal became the face of evil as monotheistic religions spread across the Mediterranean. Numbers chapter 25, verses 1 through 3, for example, states in the Old Testament, "While Israel was in Shittim, the men began to engage in sexual immorality with the Moabite women, who invited them to their god sacrifices. The people ate and bowed to these gods. As a result, Israel joined the worship of Baal of Peor, and the Lord's wrath was kindled against them." Jesus refers to Satan as Beelzebub in the New Testament, forever associating Baal with Satan and the prince of demons. The history of Baal worship is long and complicated, with connections to other figures such as Moloch. One thing is certain about Baal: he is identified as an enemy of God in the holy books of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And it is for this reason that the occult elite continues to revere Baal to this day. He represents ancient gods who were appeased through child sacrifices and sacred prostitution, things that the elite still do today. End-time prophecies are leaving the pages of the Bible daily and appearing everywhere for anyone who is paying attention to see. They appear in supermarkets. For example, when you realize that during the false pandemic, you couldn't buy or sell without a mark, or as I like to call it, a mask. They appear in churches, where more attention is paid to how to make money and build megastructures than to building the human hearts that God requires for writing the words and scriptures of the coming world. They appear in shows and films in Hollywood, Nollywood, Bollywood, and many other woods worldwide. They only recently appeared in the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games opening ceremony. Anyone paying attention could see that the open display of idolatry during the opening ceremony, as it publicly worshipped Baal, or what the BBC commentator called the beast. The opening ceremony could be described as a grand work of art in dance, colors, music, visual effects, and eloquently spoken words to those who were not paying attention or who only see things as black and white or as a straight line. But don't be fooled. The opening ceremony was a spell cast into the nations of the world for the transition from the Kingdom of Iron, ancient Rome and its Vatican, and Britain extensions, to the Kingdom of Iron mixed with clay, which is the dispensation on earth where fallen angels will be thrown to the earth from the second heaven to mix with humans or clay to create 10 supernations or the kingdom of 10 toes under the rulership of the Antichrist. Revelation chapter 12, verse 4, 7 through 9. Daniel chapter 2, verses 41 through 43. I'll explain everything as I go. When Revelation 18 speaks of the kingdom of the beast, which Scripture says was, is not, and yet is, it refers to Babylon as the real-world kingdom and a worldly spiritual system that has ruled the entire world since ancient times. But Babylon, as a type of kingdom, has existed since the days of the fall in the garden as a serpentine system that says there is no God, or that opposes God's agenda and is guided by Satan, also known as the old serpent or the devil. When the spirit of wickedness was planted in Shinar, see Zechariah chapter 5, verse 11. The foundation of Babel, the spirit of confusion behind the system that rules the world, Babylon became a rulership structure. 1 Samuel chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. On the other hand, this Babylon was given a face in Nebuchadnezzar, the ruler of the first kingdom of gold known as Babylon, whose kingdom extended all the way down to the fifth kingdom, which is the reality of 10 kingdoms, 10 toes of iron and clay. The opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games announced to the world the dispensation of the kingdom of 10 toes of Daniel 2. This is the kingdom of iron, fallen angels, and clay, or more colloquially, the era of singularity, the union of man and machine. So we can safely say that the Industrial Revolution, in all of its phases, was a major announcement of the Iron Kingdom in modern times, whereas today's shift to the Internet of Things, IoT, and the merging of man and machine is the era of iron and clay. However, according to Scripture, they, fallen angels and machines, will attempt but fail to merge with humans. According to God's standard of life on earth, humans cannot merge with iron, something that will precipitate the end of the iron and clay era, because a kingdom that is divided against itself cannot stand. And that is the end of this video. What do you think about this ceremony? Is this type of exhibition good for the world we live in right now? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. And also, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.